Tonight on Cronkite News, we take a look at how Arizona DACA recipients are doing now, 11 years after the program was created.
Plus, hundreds of folks in one valley town no longer have to truck in water after a feud with a nearby city is resolved.
And a look back at a new and improved Section 7 girls tournament in Glendale last week.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News. I'm Crystal Stone.
And I'm Shai Gara. Thank you for joining us.
It was supposed to be a stopgap measure to protect young undocumented immigrants from deportation while Congress worked on a permanent solution.
But 11 years later, DACA is still with us and no long-term fix is in sight, as Shelly Garzón reports from our Washington bureau.
DACA recipients like Jose Patino once worried about receiving an education and work permits. 11 years later, they find their struggles have grown with them.
It's not only about themselves, but it's their kids, and they have to feed them, and how I'm going to pay the mortgage, and what am I going to do? That's difficulty.
But DACA recipient Karina Ruiz de Diaz says the uncertainty of what lies ahead remains the same.
It's already a burden to have to plan our lives in increments of 2 years and not knowing what our future is.
June 15th marked the 11th anniversary of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, better known as DACA. Enacted in 2012, DACA defers deportation of young adults who were brought to the U.S. as children and provides them with work authorization for 2 years at a time. Patino and Ruiz de Diaz are two of almost 24,000 DACA recipients living in Arizona, and of the 800,000 nationally waiting to see if the program survives the latest legal challenge.
We believe that the continuation of DACA is positive for the nation, and that's something that needs to continue.
DACA has been challenged since the day it was enacted. The latest challenge was a 2021 ruling by U.S. District Judge Andrew Hannon, who ruled parts of DACA unlawful. While that case is pending, current DACA recipients can renew their protection, but no new applicants are being considered. Critics like Ira Melman of the Federation for American Immigration Reform say that's the way it should be.
Parents make bad decisions that affect their children, it is the responsibility of the parent to correct that, not society.
But Ruiz de Diaz, a defendant on the case, says the legal process has been a roller coaster, and in addition to the uncertainty of the 2-year renewal period.
It's a really difficult situation, and it's chaotic and frustrating on our parts that they keep playing with our lives like that.
While some see this anniversary as a mark of resilience, Patino says it is a failure due to the lack of a permanent solution for the next generation of dreamers.
They're not eligible for the DACA program because it's closed, or they migrated after the deadline, or they don't miss a certain requirement. So therefore, it's like, why are you celebrating a program that is 11 years old when it was only meant to be 2 years?
In Washington, Shelly Garzón, Cronkite News.
In a statement on DACA's anniversary, President Joe Biden echoed that message, calling on Congress to pass comprehensive immigration reform.
According to Axios, former Arizona Governor Doug Ducey is starting an effort to locate, register, and educate voters who are for free enterprise. Ducey hopes to build an organization across 50 states that focuses on threats to free enterprise. He says these threats include poor education and high crime in certain cities. As Arizona's governor, Ducey made cutting taxes and school choice a priority. Axios reports the new effort will be called Citizens for Free Enterprise.
Several hundred people in a small, unincorporated town in the Northeast Valley will soon have regular access to water. Residents in Rio Verde foothills had been hauling their water to their homes. This after the city of Scottsdale cut off the area's water supply to preserve the water for its own residents. The state legislature approved a bill last month requiring Scottsdale to provide water for their residents of Rio Verde foothills. Governor Katie Hobbs signed it into law yesterday.
The Section 7 girls tournament wrapped up over the weekend at State Farm Stadium.
This year was the first year that the girls held their own tournament and had college recruiters on hand, something only the boys tournament had had in the years past.
Girls from across the West played the best of the best. The 3-day tournament included 136 teams playing on 12 courts. The participants also had a chance to leave the tournament with a college offer. The NCAA tournament recruiting period started on June 15th, which means college coaches are able to speak with high school recruits. Coaches from Power 5 schools across the country were in attendance, including Duke, Baylor, Arizona State, North Carolina, and Oklahoma.
So whether it's kids that are getting college scholarships or kids that are just creating lifelong memories, this is something that we hope they're telling their grandkids about, and their grandkids are telling their grandkids about. That's one of the things that excites us about the event.
So having this experience, playing the best competition in the country, it only makes us better. And getting those stepping stones to our journey to state championships, this is what we need. This is the experience we want. So they're excited, and I am too.
If Diamondbacks fans want to see Corbin Carroll make the All-Star team, you better keep the votes coming. Just 2 days left to cast your first-round ballot. Carroll is among the top 4 outfielders, leapfrogging over his teammate Lourdes Gurriel Jr. for the number 3 spot. Less than 2,000 votes separate the two. Either would represent the Diamondbacks well. Both are popular with the fans, and both have been had a huge role in propelling the Diamondbacks to first place in the NL West.
The 2023 MLB Draft Combine is going on at Chase Field this week.
Today was the first day it was open to the public, and Cronkite reporter John Kuzy joins us in studio with more about the scouting event.
Plenty of scouts and fans were able to get a first look at the stars of tomorrow as they got put through their paces on the diamond at Chase Field. Arizona schools were well represented with players from ASU, GCU, and U of A on hand. Players were in front of scouts and general managers as well as lifelong baseball fans. The fans who came out weren't too sure what to expect from the Combine, as this is only the 3rd annual event and first in Phoenix. But the opportunity to watch the next generation of talent was an exciting prospect.
I'm a big Diamondbacks fan, and it's like I go to spring training before the games just to see what that's like. Thought I'd come out and see what this is like, since it's first time in Phoenix, and it's supposed to be a pretty big deal. I don't know if I'm going to be here 20 minutes or 2 hours, so we'll see what it is all about.
Fans will have the chance to see 323 players chase their major league dreams on Tuesday and Wednesday as they go through pro-style workouts, from batting practice, taking ground balls, shagging flies, and bullpen sessions on a professional field. In the newsroom, John Kuzy, Cronkite News.
A submarine full of tourists disappears as they attempt to view what's left of the Titanic.
After the break, the latest on the search for the sub and the 5 people inside.
Plus, it's going to get really hot really soon. So, when will we see our first 110-degree day of the year? Your forecast is next.
This is CN to Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN to Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Here at the TV Production and Graphics Lab, we are behind the scenes making the news happen. Gain experience in the control room directing, teledirecting, and rolling the audio of every Cronkite News show. Run the floor and work in a professional environment, honing your skills for the future. Create graphics that will be seen by the local community on Arizona PBS. Be a part of the bloodline that makes the Cronkite News shows possible.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news.
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
And entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Welcome. How utterly charming. Are you ready to get it going? How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you? Are you ready for the show? You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh. You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
President Biden's son, Hunter, will soon plead guilty to federal tax offenses and a gun charge.
As part of this deal with the Justice Department, Hunter will likely avoid jail time.
Biden will plead guilty to the tax offenses, which are misdemeanors, and he will avoid prosecution on a different charge for illegally possessing a firearm as a drug user. The White House says the president and the first lady support their son, but former President Trump likens the deal to a mere traffic ticket.
And a tough day on Wall Street today, with stocks falling for the second session in a row.
The Dow closed down 245 points for the day. This comes after closing down more than 100 points on Friday. The market had been on a 5-week rally, with some hoping the Federal Reserve may stop raising interest rates soon.
The U.S. Coast Guard said today that it searched 10,000 square miles, but still no sign of a missing submarine. 5 people are on board the tourist sub named Titan, which was on a voyage to see the wreckage of the Titanic. The submarine was last heard from on Sunday, and it only has a supply of 96 hours of oxygen, which means the oxygen could run out by Thursday morning. But the Coast Guard said today it's doing everything it can to find the missing sub.
Obviously, getting salvage equipment on scene is a top priority. Unified Command is working through that to prioritize what equipment we can get there. There are ongoing operations right now via the U.S. Navy and Transcom to get equipment staged in St. John's and to get it on scene. I can't give you an exact timeline of when that's going to happen. But what I can tell you is there is a full court press effort to get equipment on scene as quickly as we can.
People in Moss Point, Mississippi are cleaning up today after a tornado hit their town. At least 6 people were hurt by the tornado, and many homes and businesses were destroyed. Officials there say at least 100 buildings were either damaged or destroyed by the twister, which hit yesterday. At one point, 8 people were trapped inside a bank, but they're now free. But many are still without power.
Things are getting pretty dry back here in the valley, and it's about to get really, really hot.
That's right. John Kuzi joins us now to tell us how high the mercury will climb.
Yes, good evening and welcome into the Cronkite Weather Center. As you can see, it's going to be a hot one this evening, 101 at 6 p.m. and 91 at 10 p.m. Even when that sun goes down, it's still going to be in the 90s. And as we move into our future cast, you can see Wednesday morning, it's going to be very clear. No clouds, no wind. Moving in to Friday morning, continuing to be clear. So that means we're in store for a hot one here in Arizona. 106 is our high on Wednesday in Phoenix, 83 in the Grand Canyon, 79 in Flagstaff, so even pretty hot up north. As we move into our 8-day forecast, as you can see, triple digits to round out the week. Into the weekend, continuing the triple digits, and then look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, that trifecta of 110. So it's going to be very hot here in Arizona. So what should you do if you're experiencing any heat exhaustion or heat stroke? Well, for starters, to know if you have heat exhaustion, you might be feeling dizzy or faint. For heat stroke, you might have a throbbing headache. Excessive sweating for exhaustion versus no sweating for heat stroke. Cool, pale, clammy skin for exhaustion and hot, dry skin for heat stroke. Rapid, weak pulse for exhaustion and rapid, strong pulse for stroke. Muscle cramps for exhaustion, and you may lose consciousness for stroke. So what should you do if you are experiencing these? Well, if you're experiencing the ones for heat exhaustion, you should get to a cool, dry area And if you have heat stroke, you should call 911 and get help immediately. Please stay safe in Arizona during these hot times. From the Cronkite Weather Center, I'm John Kuzi.
Coming up next, NIL is changing the world of college sports.
Find out how ASU is navigating the financial landscape.
And how one Sun Devil is taking full advantage of his name, image, and likeness. Next.
Cronkite News provides students at ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism with the opportunity to gain real-world experience in the newsroom. At Cronkite News, our students produce professional content for audiences by taking on all roles, whether they be reporting, anchoring, producing, or studio production. Each department gives students first-hand professional newsroom experience. For more information, visit cronkitenews.azpbs.org.
Hello, I'm Adrienne Farewell, and I'm proud to serve as General Manager of Arizona PBS. From Phoenix to the Grand Canyon, Flagstaff to Prescott, and everywhere in between, this station is the best way to remain connected to all that's going on in our beautiful state. So whether you're interested in arts, culture, and music, to local politics and education, we've got you covered. You're watching Arizona PBS, and your Arizona connection starts right here.
That way the flavors will marry nicely.
Can you tell me what I'm looking at?
I'm not looking for love, I'm looking for cookies.
And there's still places to discover.
It just absorbs you.
You can make this at home if you can't find it.
I will continue to eat and drink until you get here. Get here fast.
Cheers. Cheers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good?
We are going to be eating well.
It does work. It does.
We got a happy little sky.
We're just getting started.
Welcome. How utterly charming. Are you ready to get it going? How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you?
Are you ready for the show?
You can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Oh.
You look like you need rescuing.
Don't we all?
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
College sports saw another record year of NIL deals for its student athletes. Name, image, and likeness contracts first became legal in the state of Arizona in July 2021.
And now, as Ethan Tuttle reports, the pressure is on universities to retain players by ensuring they can cash in on some of these lucrative deals.
There is no way that you can be taken seriously by today's student athletes if you don't have some sort of NIL program at your school.
Collegiate programs from all across the country are beginning to reap the benefits of having some of the nation's most elite level athletes. But with athletes able to profit off their name, image, and likeness, there's a new price to pay. Athletic programs need to establish NIL collectives that pool various revenue streams. Sun Angel Collective President Jeff Berg knows how hard it is to get a collective off the ground competing with the already highly funded schools.
When we started out with no website, not a whole lot of information out there, certainly no printed material, no executive director at that time. And so it was just us reaching out to our network and to try to encourage some initial folks to write some large checks so that we could get off the ground.
Those checks cleared, helping Sun Angel Collective get off the ground this past August. Ever since, the collective has helped a number of student athletes grow their personal brand. Board members decide how much money players will earn off of their respective deals.
We can have some conversations with coaching staff to get an understanding of where maybe needs are, but they can't really tell us, this athlete, I want to earn X dollars. So our board is really critical in making those determinations.
Some ASU student athletes have been able to set up NIL deals outside of the collective and are also pursuing endeavors on their own, something the collective encourages.
Athletes can go out and get their own NIL deals. They can create their own merchandise. If we're able to piggyback on that and help from our platform share what they have going on, we're happy to do so.
One student athlete on the football field is his own agent and has been taking advantage of his new opportunities both with the collective and outside it as well. Jalen Conyers is known for making touchdowns on the football field, but he also makes slam dunks in the NIL space.
I think that's one of the biggest things about NIL is for me, I have a podcast now on my website. I go to a bunch of events where I get to talk and see, kids, or I get to talk just about my experience with playing college football. So I think that's just one of the coolest things about it is just getting to do that and build my own brand.
Jalen has learned a lot about operating his own clothing line and website since it opened up last year. And as hard as it can be to find a deal, sometimes it can be just as hard to stay on top of managing it.
I think sometimes the hardest thing is just, being careful what you sign and stuff like contracts and stuff. Obviously, if you're working by yourself, if you're in that space of where you're working by yourself, and people can try to take advantage of you sometimes, whether that's they make you sign for way less than they were told or whatever. So I think for me, it's just about being careful and just, just establishing a relationship with whoever I am.
With millions of dollars already on the table for some young student athletes, Jalen just hopes that the coaching staffs and the athletes themselves remember the importance of earning it.
Some colleges in that mindset, hey, we're going to give you $10 million in the next 4 years if you commit here, instead of, hey, come see if you like the school and then come earn it and earn your money. So I think that's one of the biggest things is going to be a part of NIL is having to earn it.
With players more in control and brands making more investments in college athletes, experts project the NIL market to reach $1.4 billion in the next year. In Tempe, Ethan Tuttle, Cronkite News.
Coming up next, Chihuahuas are, of course, adorable, not to mention a little loud.
And according to a new nationwide poll, they should also be the official dog of our state. That's next.
This is CN2 Go. I'm Emily Olson with your Wednesday news briefing.
Do you want to create innovative content for Cronkite News? Do you enjoy listening to podcasts? Then CN2 Go is for you. Cronkite News to Go is a podcast where students cover the latest headlines. Students become audio producers and hosts and will learn how to write, record, and edit stories. You can listen to the latest episodes on these platforms.
Here at the TV Production and Graphics Lab, we are behind the scenes making the news happen. Gain experience in the control room directing, teledirecting, and rolling the audio of every Cronkite News show. Run the floor and work in a professional environment, honing your skills for the future. Create graphics that will be seen by the local community on Arizona PBS. Be a part of the bloodline that makes the Cronkite News shows possible.
ASU's one and only student-run radio station, Blaze Radio, provides students with opportunities to cover a variety of topics. From music,
This is Sun City Garage,
to sports coverage,
Against the Brewers in his last outing, he went
to news,
The bill also gives parents the ability to sue.
and entertainment updates. Blaze Radio offers a fun environment to gain valuable broadcast experience. To find out more, visit blazeradioonline.com.
Welcome. How utterly charming. Are you ready to get it going? How does an English fan come to be Italian Riviera?
A fresh start.
Can I trust you? Are you ready for the show?
can't be afraid to show them what you've got, what you want.
Are we having a party?
Of course, the more the merrier.
I love this place. It's my home now. Trouble in paradise. I can't do it on my own.
This is revenge.
There are consequences.
Be careful.
Nothing like this. Nothing like this.
You look like you need rescuing.
Tell me all.
What is it that you want? I just want to let go. I choose how I live.
There is the passion that I've been looking for.
Arizona is famous for its official neckwear, the bowler tie.
But could we soon have an official state dog?
Well, the pampered pup asked folks across the country to pick a breed to represent their states. And the winner here in Arizona, the Chihuahua. But as of now, there is no official state dog in Arizona, and there doesn't appear to be any plans to change that.
That's it for Cronkite News. Thanks for joining us.
And to see top Arizona stories anytime, log on to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.